Welcome to the outpost. If you wanna be a knight and fight the good fight, welcome to the outpost. Oh. Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost, where the chains are gone. Here at the outpost, you found a home, a place of passion, a place to call your own. The outpost nerd, where the lines are dark. From Never Never Land to the world of Superman, welcome to the outpost. From a galaxy far, far away to the Mach 5 on the Speedway, welcome to the outpost. From the world of comics to the big screen, welcome to the outpost, where you
What's up, everybody? Hope you can hear me. I'm back. Had tech issues. Holy crap. Let's start that again. A new intro song. So let me bring that up. I'm so sorry. My damn.
If you wanna be a hero, tired of being a zero, welcome to the outpost. If you wanna be a knight and fight the good fight, welcome to the outpost. Oh. Welcome to the outpost. Welcome to the outpost, where the chains are gone. Here at the outpost, you found a home, a place of passion, a place to call your own. The outpost nerd, where the lies are from Never Never Land to the world of Superman. Welcome to the outpost. From a galaxy far, far away to the Mach 5 on the Speedway. Welcome to the outpost. From the world of comics to the big screen. Welcome to the outpost, where you'll be seen. Welcome to the outpost, where the chains are gone. Here at the outpost, you found a home, a place of passion, a place to call your own. The outpost nerd, where the lies are done.
Oh, here comes the good part, y'all. Big part. Punishment I never got to learn, and I regretted it. Would love being king sax.
Sing for who you are, a rising superstar. Here at the outpost.
Yeah.
Find your passion and nerd out. To the outpost. Here at the outpost, you found a home, a place of passion, a place to call your
Real long.
own.
I'm working on shortening
The
it. Trying to
outpost
keep
nerd,
it feel.
where
I wrote the
lies
lyrics,
are done.
but I'm always up front when I use AI, and I use AI for the
Welcome to
music.
the outpost, where the chains are gone. Here at the outpost, you found a home, a place of passion, a place to call your own. The outpost nerd, where the lies are done.
What's up, my nerd geeks and dweebs, and welcome to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. Two things. I had my time set on here wrong. My bad. And once I go live, knowing my luck, just call me Murphy. The Outpost Murphy, Murphy's Law. My whole camera freezes. So I had to restart my computer. But thank you for coming to this impromptu stream. Guys, I saw something over the weekend that I actually like, that I thought was awesome. I thought it was great. I finally got around to watching Spider-Noir, starring Nick Cage as Ben Riley, not Peter Parker, but Ben Riley. Whoa! And I really liked it. Um, I thought it had some great. Um, it was a great noir detective slash superhero. Uh, yeah, War Eagle. Hello, War freaking Eagle, man. Hey, man, thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be looking forward to the next tomorrow's show. Check out Madman's Cafe live at 3 p.m., 2 p.m. Central. We'll be talking about some great stuff. I'll be talking about it at the end of the show. But the look of Spider-Noir, I watched it in color. It was awesome. They had it to where you could watch it in both color or yes, very much. And all I got to remind you, Gap, is the 2013 Iron Bowl, the kick six, a moment I will never forget as long as I live. It was okay, little rant. It was one of the greatest moments in football I ever witnessed, not just college, the sport in general. You have because you probably had to have a few drinks to get over it. It just blurred the whole thing, right? Well, let me remind you. So, clock runs out. Alabama wins the game. Nick Saban has a fit about a clocking error. So they put 5-6 seconds left on the clock. And Alabama's ahead by a touchdown. Touchdown. I don't think a field goal. If I remember right. They're just down by one. Or up by one. And they put 5 seconds back on the clock. Alabama punts it. Chris Davis in the end zone catches it and runs 110 yards. Nobody's touching him. He is just tiptoeing down that those yard lines. Just boom, boom, boom. Feet just like boom, boom. And he's out of there. Alabama is done. And Auburn wins the game. It is the most spectacular moment in football history I ever witnessed live. The cheering at the stadium was so loud, it measured like a 2.3 on the Richter scale. It measured as an earthquake. But the next week, Auburn went and played my Seminoles, who I'm also a fan of. I grew up as a Seminole fan. I do not have any ears. My beard is so thick. Hey. You started this. You got me talking about my Tigers. I remember standing up screaming, go, go, go. And oh my God, I could watch Chris Davis run that field over and over again. It was Auburn was not supposed to win that game. No one had money on Auburn to win that game. And of course, they went and lost to the FSU in the national championship that year. But it was an amazing game. And I could not help but laugh my ass off. Nick Saban got pissy about a timing error. And it cost him the game. Oh, I needed that lift. Because things have not been going out well for me. And I'll talk about it later. I'll talk about more of that later. But I'm going to talk about Spider-Noir. I watched it in color, and the great thing is you could watch it. You could choose to watch it in color and black and white, and I like it how vibrant and colorful the colored version was because if a lot of people don't realize that you have to have the certain colors don't show up translate well into black and white, so that's why you have all these bright oranges and yellows and greens in it. But I read that his name was Ben Riley. Originally, the Spider Noir, his name's Peter Parker, but I think because this is Prime, that thank you, Gabe. Yeah, thank you. That would have been cool. See, Spider was coming at you, but the story was amazing. Let me see something. Oh, that ain't gonna work. The story was absolutely amazing. Um, he's an older Spider-Man, so it shows like um, when he's swinging from the webs, you could or fighting, you could tell he's stiff because he's been out of the spider business for about 5 years. He's not Spider-Man in this one. He's the Spider. That's how they name him. That's what they named him. And he didn't get bit by a radioactive spider. It's a great story revolving World War One. Or no World War, yeah, no two. They never really were clear on what war they were talking about. Yeah, it was set in 1930 New York, so it was World War One. So Ben liberated a Nazi torture camp, and in this camp, the Nazis were doing experiments. It was like splicing animal DNA into like. There's one character that it didn't affect him, but Ben picked up this terrarium and it had a praying mantis. So they were trying to create a praying mantis one. He goes over to one and he picks it up. It's a spider, and the guy's messed up. He's got like half spider face, like the eyes all the way up to here, but his legs are just spider thing. And he reaches out and just grabs Ben's arm and bites him. So that's how he got his powers. He got it through Nazi experimentation. Very cool. The guy, the way they did the human spider thing, oh my god, it was nightmare fuel. It's Nick Cage reprising his role from Into the Spider-Verse as Ben Riley as the Spider. You had what am I doing? Share this tab. I'll bring you up. So starting off, Rotten Tomatoes gives it the critics give it a 91, and surprisingly, the audience is in consensus with a 91. Private Ben Riley is living easy, and lazy until mobsters, and a femme fatale drag him back to his former life as New York's only superhero. So let's see. Cast. Let's bring up the cast. If you all the Outpost Nerd. Nick Cage as Ben Riley. He was also an executive producer. Lin Jun Lee as Cat Hardy. That's the Black Cat. Beautiful. She amazing actress. Beautifully. She had these most amazing noir gowns. These beautiful, and she could sing amazingly. Let's see, bring that back up. Karen Rodriguez, an actress who I do not know about, that I don't know, played Janet, the secretary, who is an amazing private eye in her own right. She secretary of Ben. Richard, I'm not even going to try to say that. I don't remember that character, Chief McNamara. Jack Hudson. And this was a cool thing. They had Flint Marko, the Sandman. In this clip, they had Brandon Gleeson as Silvermane, the mobster who runs New York City, the bootleg. This is during Prohibition, so a lot of bootleg booze is a big thing. See, director. I know I'm not the cast. I don't no. Okay, let's see. Going up. What am I doing? I need cast. That's all. So let me see. Let's go to the wiki. So she played Cat Hardy, a femme fatale Knights Club singer and love interest to both Ben and Flint, who plots to unalive Silvermane. Karen Rodriguez. And the coolest thing is they were able to take a lot of the noir of the past and allow it to influence the characters. Let's see. Nick Cage said, posted as 70% Humphrey Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny. I can see that. Oh, this is fascinating and makes so much sense. Believing Ben was a spider trying to cosplay as a human, he also looked at actors James Cagney and Edward G. Robertson for their performance. Cage was inspired by Bogart's performance in the film The Big Sleep when Ben goes undercover. Oh, so like when Ben gets bitten, he starts taking on like physical characteristics of a spider. He's not sure about. He has to relearn to be a human, basically, because he's taking on spider-like tendencies. Like when he sleeps, he goes like he curls up like a spider. And if you listen to Ben, he talks like like Humphrey Bugsy Malone and all that, because he said he had to relearn to be a human, and he did that by going to the movies, which I found was a fascinating little tidbit. Like, if you're going through that transformation, how would you hold on to humanity? And he uses the arts. Let's see. Let's go down. Oh no. Go back down. Brandon Gleeson, who I really enjoy, I've always enjoyed his work, plays Silvermane, an Irish mob boss with connections to Ben Past, who has been the target of multiple killing attempts, unaliving attempts. Gleeson described the character as a philosopher with a drone eye view. Let's see. Luke Haas as Winston, Silvermane's right-hand man, who through a brilliant chest move, Ben tricks him to taking the fall. And Carrie Christopher as Frankie, a young newsboy Ben and Janet take care of that also helps in their cases. I enjoyed that one. We had the editor of the Daily Bugle, which was a guy named Harold Williams. Vera Addison. We had the character Megawatt, who played by Andrew Lewis Capaldi, who you've seen him. You don't know him, but you've seen him. Let me. What has he done? I remember him in college. The Drake Bell movie. He was the cafe kid when he was in Transformers. He was the cafe kid with the camera, like, oh my god, we gotta see this, and he tries to get a piece of meteorite. I kept thinking he looked familiar. And he was in the Matrix Resurrections. He was old Neo's co-worker who kept an eye on him when he was still in the Matrix as the he was a handler for Neo. It's a good luck charm. He did a lot of Disney and Nickelodeon stuff. And he was in one of my favorite shows, The Librarians. Oh, that's cool. Let's go back. So one thing I liked, let me go back. One thing I really liked, one of the characters named Ogden Farber. He's the old man. For all my Star Trek fans, that would be Garrick. I kept thinking, wait, I recognize his voice, and then I realized who he was. So he was part of a. So the unit that Ben saves from the Nazi experiment. Yeah, I love history. I love like fantasy. I love the movies. And I love Arthurian legends. So you put all those together, you get the librarians. I don't like the new series they're doing. I like the movies and the original, the first series. they're trying to like keep it going and Godspeed, but it's kind of just like you're stretching it to the point that you're beating a dead horse. Yeah, I like the idea of just like each librarian being like an expert in a certain field. I love Cassandra's ability. I hate how she got it because the tumor in her head, but it's like she's like I think called polymath. She can like see math equations and stuff in the air around her due to her tumor. But what was his name? Not Jones, but the other guy. The guy who was in Leverage. I liked him. He's the big tough guy, cowboy, but he's secretly a genius who loves art. And I loved what he said because it kind of made sense. He started going off about architecture and the Guardian's like, what do you know about architecture? He's like, thought you were into art. He's like, architecture is art we live in. How come no one understands that? And I'm like, that's actually a good point. You got me rambling. But he played all the Nazis, all the superpowered characters in the show were either prisoners or at the Nazi concentration camp. Like Ben led the squad that liberated them, while Flint, Megawatt, and there was another one, and there was another guy named Jimmy Addison who had pyrokinesis. There's another one they don't mention here. There was another one who they don't. What? He was an awesome character. Why would you not mention him? He was basically like super strong, and his skin had become like scaled armor, and but it's all because the Nazis did experiments on them in World War One. It's not World War II yet with Captain America. So there's a doctor who is posing as a VA doctor named Dr. Althea Faber, who's Ogden's mother, actually. Ogden was like 19 in World War One, but he looked so young, they thought he had like lied about his age. They called him Freckles, but his mutation has made him age like a dog, like 7 times. So you see this old man who's actually like 36, 37. And Dr. Faber and Ogden actually end up kidnapping Ben, because Ben got he got his mutations from like a secondary source. He wasn't directly injected into with his by his mutation wasn't injected into him. He got it from his bite. So it's unlike the others who their power is killing them. They're going to be dead soon. Flint, Megawatt, Addison, who Pat gets killed in the first one, and the other guy. I don't like that. So I'm just reading. They're trying to figure. Dr. Faber wants to figure out why Ben's mutation isn't killing him, so he could create an antidote to save her son, and in doing so, also save the other ones because they're the last ones. There's this really gruesome scene where Dr. Faber and Ogden kidnap Ben because Ben was experimented on like by the army when they found out. There's this scene where he's recovering from his bite and they realize he has powers and but they take him apart. They like cut into him and blood and all that. And Dr. Faber actually finds a cure through Ben's DNA. And it's like the most, this show is full of cliches. It's so many cliches, but the neo-noir cliches, like, yeah, see, I love being bad, see, but it's done so well. It's done so good. I loved it. I love old noir themed TV shows and movies. Like some of my favorite movies, like in the early and mid 90s, they tried to do noir themed movies. They did the Phantom, which I loved. I absolutely loved the Phantom. I love The Shadow. Not so much The Star anymore. I remember The Rocketeer. Oh my God, The Rocketeer was amazing. And I like Indiana Jones and all those kind of film noir classic superhero types. The adventurers, not superheroes, the adventurers. I loved, and this to me it had that amazing balance of superheroes and detective, like Pulp Fiction. I loved it so much that I'm actually developing a oh, that is cool. Yeah, I remember being a kid, maybe when did that come out? I was 9 when The Phantom came out. Billy Zane, Trent Williams, Christy Swanson, James Remar, Carrie Taquana, who we just lost. And that was the first movie I saw Catherine Zeta-Jones in. I'm like, she comes on screen in that tight flight suit. I'm like, I remember this was back when you had to look in the newspapers. In my day, you had to look in the newspapers to find the time for the motion moving pictures. And my mom took me to see it. We get there, and it's like 45 minutes into the movie already. We're sitting out there waiting for the movie to start or the time to start, and we miss like the first half. And my mom goes complain. My mom, you don't try to cheat my mama. She wanted to get her money's worth. And so they gave us a pair of free tickets to another movie. But I remember watching the movie, the rest of the movie, and then waiting for the next showing. And then we watched up until the point to where we came in and we left in the middle of the second showing. Just something that always it's a funny thing. It was one of the few times my mom took me to movies. And that's not because she's a bad mother who doesn't want to do anything with her kids. No, she's just not a big movie fan. She doesn't like the same kind of movies that I like. You know, I'm a sci-fi nerd, sci-fi fantasy adventure. But Trent Williams as Xander Drax was just an amazing campy, old school villain to the point that it was comical. And I love the shadows. Like, what evil looked in the hearts of men, the shadow knows. Um, I just thought it was such cool powers. You know, the psychic being able to cloud the minds of men. These are not the droids they are looking for. Um, and then of course, Indiana Jones. You gotta love Indiana Jones. The Rocketeer, I absolutely loved. I love that old time, like just that all that old time timiness of it. It was so much fun. Those movies are just plain fun adventures. The guy saving the beautiful girl. Oh, I loved it. The Phantom was the first movie I remember seeing Ian McKellen. He played Reinhardt Lane, who played um, who, who created the big weapon. Oh, who else? John Penelope Ann Miller, Peter Boyle as Mo, and of course Tim Curry. Come on, Ian McKellen. What? James Hong was in it. What was his name? Who played? Where is he? What? And of course, I love the look of the Shadow. Shadow has one of the coolest classical looks in, I think, film noir comic history. I love it. Shoot. No, that's not what I want. I'll get this eventually, guys. I'll get the hang of this eventually. Just this is a great Pulp Fiction look. Come on, what is not to love about it? You have the and that's what. Oh, that's so cool. And I loved how they at the end, you got me ranting again. Squirrel. I loved how they kept it open for a sequel. This is one of the great Disney movies like that people have forgotten was The Rocketeer. But look at this. It's so cool. He's got the two big guns, just, and I love how he uses them. He's got the scarf. Just that's his mask, and he's got that great mobster look. And the coolest thing, he uses his powers. That's not the Shadow's real face. That's not Lamont's real face. Yeah, he uses his ability to cloud the minds of men to basically to obscure his identity. And I love Peter Boyle in it. Come on, Peter Boyle was great. I did not like Everybody Loves Raymond. I did not like the characters. I love Peter Boyle. Peter Boyle, I love Young Frankenstein. Put on the Ritz. So funny. Peter Boyle was an amazing actor, and he as Mo, the cab driver who drove Lamont, and this was one of Jonathan Winter's. I think it was one of his last roles. He played Lamont's uncle, who was the police commissioner, that wants to put a task force on the Shadow, and Lamont goes and he goes when you could tell it was such a awesome bit of lighting. You knew when a psychic was using their powers because their face would be obscured by the shadows. You won't do it, and the person's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this." He wanted the police commissioner wanted to put a task force on the Shadow. You're not going to. Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. You'll ignore the Shadow. Oh, I'll ignore the Shadow. Well, the Shadow's not real. It's such a cool little bit of just classic adventure gimmicks in these movies that I really would love to see more of, and that I think we got a taste of again in Spider-Noir. And I thought it was the costume in Spider. The only thing I would say about this, the costume Um, the costume didn't at times did not look right. I added you. It's basically a coat, and again, it's this great um, film noir look. It's basically a ski mask he wears, and the goggles they light up. They can like allow him to see in the dark and stuff. So that's a pretty cool thing. But it's so minimalistic and it looks so good sometimes. But sometimes like his hat doesn't fit right. It just sometimes it didn't translate. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. Um, let's see. Let me bring up something. Oop. One second. This is just look at the colors on this. This is Kat when she, I think when she's singing the first song when we're introduced to her in episode 1, which is beautiful. I've shared it on my Discord. She gorgeous. Look at those bright yellows, and you can see in the dark the reds and greens. And I love the old timey mics. If I could, I'd love to have one like be able to find one that could hang up like a mic, like to do my shows from. I loved it. So the powers of all the villains, all the characters except for Ben, they're dying from it. Like I said, they want to find a cure. Well, Doctor Felbar, she finds a cure, but then Silvermane wants to find all the superpower because he wants like the army. He wants all the characters to work, all the superpower characters to work for him because he basically runs New York. Like we have the typical mayor, oh, reelect me. Where's the money come from? Shut your face. Not coming from the mobster. It's coming from Silvermane. Silvermane basically put him in office. And now he's getting too big for his britches. And he's like, oh, you didn't make me. I did this myself. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It's he wants like Ben is being pulled in so many scenes. Like, oh, we're gonna keep you here, Mr. Riley, until the spider shows. You'll be waiting a long time. And there actually comes a point where Silvermane himself puts it together. Oh wait, Ben is the spider, and then what's his name? Robbie, Ben's best friend, who's a reporter, comes in the costume and gets his butt kicked. And the thing I liked about this spider doesn't have web cartridge. This Spider-Man doesn't have web cartridges. He has the organic web shooters, which we actually will be seeing Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I'll be doing a trailer review soon, probably in a day or two. It's hard for me to get out of my funk sometimes and stream, but he's got like there like when he wakes up he sees the little spots on it, he starts picking it and starts it's so good. The scene where he wakes up in the hospital, it's such a good good sense of the superhero discovering, like having to rediscover things. And it also played up the Great Depression, because there are Hoovervilles. Hoovervilles were small, like ramshackle shack communities in New York City where people who lost everything would just go live in the shacks. They were called Hooverville for Herbert Hoover, and it was a real thing. And they played up the racial division. This is before civil rights, but they weren't in your face about it. Like Robbie, he was a reporter, he couldn't get a job because he was black, and it fitted. He wasn't bitter about it. He's like, still, my best friend's white. Race was played a part in it in the series, but it wasn't a major part. It wasn't a whole thing about it. Like Janet, she's Hispanic and a woman, and she's great at her job. In some ways, better than Ben. Robbie was great at his job. And Ben, like I said, he's older. It's been 15 years from the war and 5 years since he stopped being Spider because he lost his girlfriend because he was out drinking where he could have saved her. Silvermane had his girlfriend killed, or she got caught up in something, and Silvermane had her killed. And there's a scene where she's handcuffed to the steering wheel of their car, and it's just sinking slower, and you see Ben try to come down and save her, and it's that shot where like she's reaching out to him and he can't save her, and he's just floating back up, and it destroyed him, and so he quit being the Spider because he was out. He feels guilty because he was out drinking when he should have met her for dinner like an hour before, and that wouldn't have happened. So you see him like when he fights, he gets his butt kicked because he's so out of practice, and he's bruised because he's older. People are like, why is he getting bruised? He's supposed to be Spider-Man. Well, he hasn't been Spider-Man for like a long time. And you got to realize too, a lot of Spider-Mans, they pull their punches because one punch could kill. I mean, YouTube's gonna hate me for that. Unalive a lot, and mostly there's a great comic strip that I read. Spider-Man takes on the Avengers and beats them. And it turns out that they think Spider-Man's being mind controlled, but it's actually them being mind controlled by someone. And Spider-Man takes out Captain America. He clogs he beats everyone. I need to find it and reread it. And there's one funny. There's a funny comic panel where Spider-Man is in Stark Tower, and they're like experimenting with what he can stick to, and Hulk is just sitting there. And all of a sudden, you see Spider-Man hanging from like the forearm upside down from the Hulk, and Hulk's like, "Urgh." It's funny. Such funny moments with Spider-Man. There's also a story where Spider-Man, Aunt May, and Mary Jane move into Stark Tower, and with the Avengers, and Peter and MJ, they're like, "Oh, this isn't us. We need to." They don't like it, but they understand it. And Aunt May gets up real early, like she'd always done, goes to make breakfast, and Jarvis is standing there, and she basically takes over Jarvis's kitchen, and Wolverine comes in smoking with a glass of whiskey, and he's like, "I don't know who you think you are, lady, but I like my eggs like this." She just goes up to Wolverine, plucks his cigar out, sticks it in his whiskey, and just tells him off. And all the Avengers are like, "Ooh." And you know what Wolverine does? Wolverine turns his little Canadian butt around. He's like, "I'm going to get donuts." And it's just so funny. Aunt May is just a force of nature in this comic, and I absolutely love it. We don't see like the same kind of. We see some of the same characters. Like in the story, Kat actually betrays Ben to the doctor because she's looking for the spider because she knows it's the same kind of power. Powers come from the same place, but Kat actually betrays him because she's in love with Flint. Flint's her bodyguard. So Kat is the nightclub singer and owner. Hey, Div, thank you for being here. I'm just nerding out. I'm talking about the new Spider-Noir and some other stuff. I'm going to be talking about my story. I'm actually done with three chapters, or 2 chapters in the prologue. I'll be talking about that, and then asking for some help with something at the end of the show. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I enjoyed y'all's show today. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. Like, I like those shows, like those what if shows, like, oh, could this has happened? So check out my friend Divinity Said on Rumble. She streams a lot. Check her out. It's fun. They do all sorts of crazy, like, psychic animal talking stuff, and she does Bible studies too, which are very fun, very enjoyable. I love like talking and debating stuff like that. Oh yeah, I love supporting my friends, and you've been such a help to me in the past. It's the least I could do. Mm-hmm. But when we find out what happened to the rest of the battalion that had been, the other guys that have been experimented on by the Nazis, they're all gone. They're unalived due to their powers. And Doctor Tombstone, Lonnie Lincoln, Tombstone. That's right. That's the other character. I kept thinking his name's by Abraham Pola, great actor, huge guy. What's he was in Morbius. That's one I did. He was in Cruella. He was George in Cruella. He was in the Marvel. So, oh wow, this is his second. He's in one of those. This is his third Marvel. Third Marvel things he's been in. Oh, he was a great actor. I loved his character. Tombstone, of course, it was Tombstone. It's Silvermane. That makes so much sense. What else has he been in? He was in Ballerina, the John Wick. Okay, he was in Andor. He was. I need to finish watching that. Okay, he's done. He hasn't done much, but oh wow, for the new Harry Potter audiobook, he's Kingsley Shacklebolt. That's cool. Oh wow, he's English. I wouldn't have realized that. But yeah. So Kat actually betrays Ben to the doctor because she needs him to find the cure because she wants to cure Flint because he's basically turning into sin. You can and whenever he changes. Yeah, sure. I'll see you later, man. Thanks for being here. But the changes are killing them or unaliving them, and that's a big plot point. And Ben is the key to helping find them, or helping find the cure. The army couldn't do it, but Doctor I can't Faber. She's been working on it for 15 years for the sake of her son, and it's just the overly dramatic parts to it sometimes just fit in so well to the genre that it was really good. I give it probably a 9.5 out of 10. I highly suggest it if you get a chance. See it I'm not gonna say I enjoyed it in color because I love seeing just the bright colors of New York. It really had a great 1930s feel to it. It was just beautifully well done. Beautiful story, great story. The actors were beautiful women in these roles, these femme fatale roles. It's what a lot of people wanted, but we haven't gotten in years. So that's how I feel about. I would highly suggest it. It's just chef's kiss. So onto a passion project of mine that I've kind of kept to myself. I've let a few. It's a series. So yeah, I highly suggest it. It's just been, yeah. Spoilers, yeah. I should have started off with spoiler alert, but yeah, I highly suggest this, Cam. I think you'll like it. But I'm done. You don't have to leave now. I'm done with Spider-Noir. I'm going on to passion project of mine. So, as I've always said, I love fantasy novels. PB, what's up? And I love fantasy novels. I love Lord of the Rings. I love all of Tolkien. I love Lewis, and but I also love sci-fi. So what I wanted to do, I've created, and I've been writing this for a while now. It's an idea I had maybe like almost 20 years ago now. Holy crap! But it's only been within the past year I felt confident, and year or two I felt confident to actually work on it. I've created this world, this fantasy sci-fi world, and it's called Prometheus. It is a world of duality. That's how I describe it. It's a world of magic and science. And how would a world work? And what would happen in a world where two such opposing forces clashed? And I have these characters. I'm kind of doing the regular fantasy trope of, the human, the dwarf, and the elf. But I've kind of mixed it up a little bit. So my main character, his name's Zarin. He's one of the few high elves left in Prometheus, because 500 years before the present time, there was an event called the Nightmare War. Now, go back another 100 years. Before that, Prometheus was a world of man and technology. Magic was not a thing in this world. But for some reason, which I'm not going to spoil, magic returned one day, and you had all the dwarves, elves, gnomes, all those magical creatures from stories reappear, and magic returned. And for a while, it was good. But unknown to these races, you had evil reappeared too. Monsters, demons, all sorts of evil villains. And after a while, the Nightmare War occurred, which was a war so terrible and deadly that it almost destroyed the world. Like literal nightmares were walking the world for a while in this war. And it was out of control magic and out of mad scientists just creating these abominations until the good side, I'm not going to say black and white, they ended the war. I'm not going to say how. So it's been 500 years since then, and it's been a time of rebuilding. The world's still scarred. There's like plains of land. Once oh, there it goes. So after the Nightmare War, a group was formed to search for old world tech and investigate, kind of a peacekeeping group, not unlike the Jedi, but they use magic and technology and stuff. They're called the Rangers. Can't think of a better name for them. I like the name Rangers too much. And my main character is one of them. His main weapon is a set of power gauntlets that he can use to fight with. And I have another character who, this is a placeholder named Vulcan. He's a dwarf. And I had a question that I pondered to myself. Dwarves are a race of craftsmen. What's one thing, like biological wise, like a race of craftsmen and tinkerers and builders could use to help them? So my dwarves are short in stature, like your typical dwarves, but they also have a pair of second pair of arms that they can put in a pouch behind their back, which I thought that was cool.
Test, test. Okay, there we go. Getting a little noisy in the house, but so one one thing I don't want my dwarves to just be like the axe wielding dwarves. So I have my dwarves make rifles or shotguns, and it's a sign. It's like a social sign of that they have. Um, there we go. That's what I want. And I have like if I could draw, I draw. I have pictures in my head. I have this one picture of this large city at the base of a mountain on a bay, like a shaped bay, and a cliff in the foreground with a lone figure sitting over, watching, looking at the city. But off in the distance, you see a wall of mist in the along the horizon of the ocean, and the city I've come up with a name is called Promythica. It's kind of like like the there are city states all over Prometheus, like the remnants of nations that survived the war and are rebuilding. And I have this idea for a thing called the City State Alliance, which is a group that kind of like they support each other, and the Rangers are the peacekeeping apparatus of the alliance. And I want to have the elves have something to do with the Wall of Mist, but I also have this shot that the capital of the Dwarven nation is this large mountaintop castle, but the castle itself is floating above the mountaintop, like a wild magic tore away the castle during the Nightmare War, and the dwarfs in desperation chained the castle to the ground. So you have giant chains holding this castle above this mountaintop where the mine is, and you have gondolas and stuff, and coming up to the castle. It's just these are ideas of scenes I have in my head. And I have another character. The third one in my trio is a female sorceress, specifically fire sorceress, named Cassandra. I kind of based off her of my friend Cassie, who my friend Cassie is a I love her to death. She's been troubled, but she's a classically trained opera singer. And in my world, magic is um, one way to use magic is through song and music, not unlike how in Tolkien's world, uh, um, the world was created through song, and like Lewis in C.S. in Narnia, um, uh, Aslan sang Narnia into creation. So she's kind of I describe her as well, Vulcan is kind of the gruff tinkerer, like kind of like you messed up my stuff, you bloody elf kind of thing. And he's got that the kind of the jovial headbutting with my character. Um but he also has a secret. Like he has a rifle, but maybe it's not his original one. And in Dwarven society, I've come up with there's a group called the Disarmed. They have been dishonored by losing their rifle because that's their status symbol. Like the king has the best, most ornate one, and then you have kind of like the loneliest dwarf has their basically regular looking one. And Vulcan, where's he at? Where's he at in that social standing? I don't know. Because Cassandra, she is kind of the hoity-toity, educated, um, noblewoman, like nose in the air. And I have this idea that something that happened to her when she was little, when her magic appeared, and the Rangers took her in to help train her. Because the Rangers, they're a school, they're they keep their peacekeepers, they're scholars. They study old world tech and figure out ways the Alliance can use it to better the world. Or sometimes they hide away technology. Um, I have so I have the prologue done where I introduce my villains. I had my first chapter done where I introduced my main character, and halfway done with that one where but I realized, okay, I've kind of, how am I going to introduce my world? And I thought, no, I had an epiphany last week. What I did is I introduced the ruling body of the Alliance, and I'm using my the Lord Marshal, who's the leader of the Rangers. He's like the commander in chief of the Rangers. You have the politicians, being typical politicians, bickering, whining, carrying on, trying to figure out how to handle some emergency. And he comes in into the Senate, and basically, it's a whole introduction to my world that I've kind of given you to a more, but more. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to push back my original first chapter to my second chapter, and I'm going to use the Senate scene as the first chapter and introduction to my world. And it answered so many questions that I've been struggling with. And I'm up to like maybe 5,000 words in all, which for 3 chapters, 2 chapters and a prologue, it's not much, but this is a rough draft. And so I'm thrilled about this. And I love like I said, Tolkien and Lewis, but I also love like uh what was this show called? Thundar the Barbarian, which is a great 80s show. It's set on Earth like 1,000 years from now. And a world just like ravaged by natural disasters, and a world of super science and magic. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take that and do my own spin on it. So I'm working right now on kind of the cosmology of it, trying to think of of kind of the way the world works, and how these two not opposing, but two vastly different themes, magic and science, how would they impact? How would they mix? So, like, and I think in my trio, that is personified in the dwarf technology, the dwarf technologist, the sorceress. But in the middle, you have Zarin, my elf, who is kind of a mixture of both. Um, and just like his connection to the world, his connection to what happened in the Nightmare War. So I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm looking forward to where I'm going with this story. I think it'll be a very fun, unique, not I don't want to say unique. I think interesting take on the genre that I'm enjoying writing. I'm trying to find people to like proofread it, and so it's something. It's this is just a passion project I've had so much fun doing. Um, that Zarin, if I ever is a D&D character of mine that I will be saving for a very special game if I ever get a chance to play again paper. Um, it's I had a Kaiser Pineapple suggested to me last week or the week before. I don't remember exactly when. Using actually my D&D characters, putting them in the story. And I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. So I'm working on kind of right now. I'm trying to work on a transition from one scene to the next, and I'm kind of stuck on. But I'm enjoying it, and I'd love to have it uh, published one day. And I love creating. I love making something new and sharing it. That's my passion. That's what I nerd out about. Um, One second. Okay, back. But I just love sword and sorcery, fantasy, sci-fi. So that's one thing. I mean, I enjoy others others' creation so much. Why not create something on my own that I will love, 100%. Um, I I find that creation is therapeutic for me. I I find that when I try to when I'm down create a write like the song intro song. Yes, I used AI for the music, but the lyrics were mine. I do not use um, AI lyric generators. I'm not going to do that. Um, and I think AI is a double edged sword. You need to be careful with it. It also allows people who don't have the opportunity to create something. And as long as I think you're honest about it, um, you need you need to be honest if you're going to use it. And I'm being honest. I use it. I don't use it for everything, but when you don't have any budget to put into your show, you got to go where you can. So that's my, and I'll update you more as my story progresses. I'd love to share it when it's ready. Um, and it's just so much fun to create. So okay, so I need help with something. Um, as you can see, scrolling down here, um, or let me do something. Let me do something real quick. Before I go there, let me just say this first. Come on, I hate to lay. I want to thank everyone for supporting the Outpost financially at Buy Me for, by going to buymecoffee.com/outpostnerd. I want to thank Squad Bob, Divinity said, who's in chat, Cake or Death, and Bertrand 850 for helping support me. And okay, so getting into the real world stuff. I have been breaking my butt trying to find work in real life. The dream would be doing this for a living, figuring out how to monetize this. I have not been able to figure out how to monetize my channel. It's so in the past month alone, I've probably gone to a dozen interviews, and I've gotten bupkis in response. So I need some help if anyone's willing. I was hoping to have a job by now. I hate doing this. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I've realized, I don't know about everywhere, but in my town, it's not that we have a worker problem. People don't want to work. We have thousands of people who want to work. We don't have anyone who wants to hire. I live in a beach town. Just today, I check the job boards 2 or 3 times a day. Sorry, I had an emergency. So, little background for those new. I spent the last 3 years working in education and will never be going back. It is one of the worst industries I've ever worked in. Um, but like today, sorry, today I saw a posting for at a liquor store that wanted 2 years experience. Are you are you kidding me? You want someone with a doctorate to sell booze? I have gone to so many jobs where I have my associates, thinking about going to get my bachelor's in something, just don't know yet. Haven't decided on that. And they want experience, they don't want training. It's like a couple of years ago, I got uh, I worked at briefly a insurance company, a little like single room insurance place where you go buy insurance. And all they did was all the owner did, hey, sit down at this computer and watch these videos, and it'll show you how that's the videos instructing you on the programs we use. Okay, it's fine, it's great. I watch the videos. I sit down at the computer and open up these programs. The videos he had me watch were about 4 or 5 editions out of date. So what I learned on the videos had nothing to do anymore with these programs. Didn't last long there. I went back to a grocery store I used to work at back in 07, 08, to apply for a produce job, stocking produce. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard back from them, and I've called. Um, I've I've gone to the hospital, do medical transport. That's taking people from like their room to like surgery and wherever they need to go. And I had a friend tell me who did it. He's like, and that's sometimes even taking a body to a morgue. Never didn't get that job. Had a gaming store opening in town, brand new one. Went to interview there. Had a great interview. Didn't get the job. I need help right now. I have my 20-year reunion next year, or next month. And I have till the end of the month to buy my ticket. I'm not asking. I hate this. I don't. If you feel moved to, I'm not saying please go down here and you'll get your name added to the list. And I have some plans coming up for the channel, some merch, and I figure for these beautiful people, if they give them like a discount, or like maybe like I'm working on some t-shirt designs. I just if you feel moved to go to buymecoffee.com/outpost nerd. It really helped me out. Squab, I mean, he helped me get a new mattress for my bed, and I've been sleeping great. Divinity helped me a while ago with some personal things, and just I I want to keep doing this. I love creating. I love talking about just the nerdy fun. I had someone keep calling me a nerd the other day, div, like it was an insult. But I'm like, that word doesn't mean what you think it means anymore. I'm happy to be a nerd. I love being passionate about things. I don't understand how someone could go through a life without passion, being passionate about something. And it doesn't matter what you're passionate about. It doesn't matter what you nerd out about. It's just, yeah, dork is the bad one. Nerd used to be bad. Like, and then like Revenge of the Nerds. Like nowadays, nerds are the ones who run the huge companies who keep everything going. It's not the jocks that are the business owners. It's the nerds. I mean, a nerd created the iPhone. Him, a little Goku screen. So just if you feel the desire to help, if you don't, that's perfectly fine. I'm just grateful for those of you that are here. I try to go on in the chats of all my friends, show them support, some love, give them the watch hours they deserve, because I know how much all my friends, Cam, Snob, speaking of Cam and Snob, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central, we will be doing we are doing a Babylon 5 series retrospect. We're on season 4, episode 5. We are in the middle of the Shadow War. We're coming to the end of the Shadow War. I will be guest starring with them. I will be their guest. Sci-Fi, go check out Sci-Fi Snob. Cam, go check out Bad News Bards. They do great tabletop gaming stuff. They have a lot of guests and cool interviews. Him and Shadow. Check out my friend Jason on Sci-Fi for Me TV. Amazing stuff. Jason is has the amazing connections, has all the great stuff, great insights. We actually on an episode a few months ago on Sci-Fi Snob, we had since we're doing a Babylon 5 retrospect, we had Peter Jurassic, Londo Malari, one of the stars of the show, do an interview, and it was great. I'm on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central on the Madman Cafe, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. Me, Madman at Q2 Cast TV. Peter, Peter was awesome. We have Madman Cafe live tomorrow at 3 p.m. to Central. Let me bring that up. Oh no. I always press the wrong buttons. We will be talking about Doctor Who and Stargate, the cancellations, and if studios really understand sci-fi. And one thing we always do, we talk about the box offices of the weekend. So hold on, Hugh. And recently on Q2 Cast TV on Man Live, we did a amazing interview with R.J. Carter, who is one of the writer of the Destroyer series, or better known as Remo Wilson, and he is turning it into they're turning it into a graphic novel. They are taking the Destroyer series, is an amazing book series. I highly recommend it. Great action, kung fu, super science fiction, martial arts kind of thing. We had a great interview with R.J. Carter, and he shared some of the art. Oh my God, it was amazing. And let me try to find that. Okay, I think that was me and Q2 and Snob. We're always sending so much stuff. It's hard to find stuff in the Discord. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Going back, back. Oh, that's right. They're doing another Austin Powers 4, which I will be talking about. I wonder how that will work nowadays. Nope. Dang, so much stuff sent. Okay, there it is. Oh, here. I think I'm getting close. Can't find it. Dang it. But so yeah, they do. We all have a love of the genre that we share. So check them out. They're good friends of mine. And again, check out Divinity Seds for some really amazing variety of topics. I know she's probably tired of me going in like that's not real, Div. That doesn't happen. So, but yeah, he didn't send me that thumbnail, but that's okay. So just you're not hurting for content. You're not. Yeah, on Rumble only for Div. I'm sorry. Thank you for thank you for clarifying that. Thank you for reminding me. She streams exclusively on Rumble. Rumble for me gives me problems sometimes. It like I'll be watching a stream and it just freezes. I'm guessing it like takes too much like memory and bandwidth, or it might be my browser messing up. I don't know, but yep, season 5, episode 4, see, episode 5, season 4. My dyslexic kicked in just there. Nerd is good, dork is bad. Yes. We're coming up. Babylon 5 is one of, if not, it's like in the top 5 science fiction shows that's not Star Trek or Star Wars for me. It's amazingly well done. It's CGI when a time when CGI was just getting started in television. Long, beautiful, long, amazing story arcs that some of them last like the entire season or multiple seasons. It's Bruce Boxleitner as Captain Sheridan, Tron himself, and I'd love to meet him, love to talk to him. So check them out. It's fun. We have such different views on it, and sometimes it's like, oh, I never thought of that. I love when we have conversations like that. It's like, oh, you saw that? That's interesting. I didn't see that. And it's a lot of fun. So check them out. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Central. We usually go for about 2 hours where we cover all the plots and story elements, and then we rate it. And we sideline quarterback the episode, and we're gonna do the rest of the series. And I think I don't want to hold them to the fire, but I think we've talked about doing the movies. I always love it when all my friends from different sides, different areas can meet and learn and talk and entertain each other. So that's we are okay, good, because the movies are great as well. The movies are really good too. It's in some ways I'm doing good, y'all. In some ways I'm struggling. I don't understand what's keeping me from finding work. I've tried grocery stores, I've tried restaurants, I've tried offices. And I know a lot of people in my real life who run these places. They're doctors, they just don't want to hire me. And you know what? I really wouldn't. I made the mistake of my first job back in the mid 2000s of working with your best friend. Don't do it. That's bad. Oh, we had such. I'd known this. I've known him. We've since reconciled, and we talk sometimes over Facebook. He's living out of state now. Um, but for about 3 years, we didn't talk. I didn't even go to his wedding. I didn't know about his wedding because growing up, we always talked about we'd be each other's best man, and after our falling out, it didn't happen. Which I don't. It is what it is. I was sad at the time, but um, his parents were like aunt and uncle to me, and he's off doing government work now. Shh, he could tell you, but then he'd have to unalive you. But I know if I can message him and he'd respond to me within an hour. And I don't think my town has a shortage of worker problem. I remember one time I went to a Christian bookstore we had in our mall and asked for a job application. They asked me, "Do you have any experience?" And I said, "No, I just no." Well, then we can't use you. You can't hire me to stand behind a cash register and ring up wooden crosses and self-help books. These people, I understand they want someone who knows the the business, but there comes a point where you have to, if you're not getting that caliber of person, you might have to lower your expectations and train somebody. No one nowadays wants to train people in their in the jobs. And that's, I think, is the problem. The problem isn't the workers. The problem is the employers wanting people to, with these, like, I've tried to get a job at doctor's office. They said, "Well, you don't have the experience on these programs that we use." How? And I said, "How do you expect me to get it then?" If you, it's this little catch-22. You need the job for the experience. Or you need the job to get the training, but you need the training to get the experience, but you need the experience to get the job. That's the situation I've found myself in. And I have 3 to 4 years experience in the education system. And that has taught me so much problem solving skills, so many like crisis management skills. And my jobs working in like retail and grocery stuff, it's taught me how to anticipate someone's needs. It's taught me how to, when I'm dealing with someone one on one, they're the most important person to me right at this moment. Your problem is my world right now, and I will go hell or high water. I will do everything in my power to help you fix it. I hope it get fixed. That's nothing. That's nothing to these people. I have my associates. Growing us 90s kids that were, I was born in 87, grew up in the 90s, so I'm a 90s kid. Us millennials, we were fed a pack of lies. We were told by our parents, by our grandparents, you need to go to college. You need to college to get a degree, and then the degree will get you a job. Bullshit. That degree I have in my dresser over there, my associates, is worth little more than toilet paper nowadays. And I feel by the time I go and get my bachelor's, it's going to be the same thing. And I tried to go to a trade school to get study computers. Didn't work out. The teacher, and then it was the same year, same semester, same fall that a major hurricane hit my town. Exactly. Cam, middle schoolers can't even write their own names. One of the biggest mistakes that No Child Left Behind is the biggest mistake ever perpetrated on the school system in this country. Second only to computers in the classroom. To every student having their own laptop. You've completely destroyed any handwriting lessons that you could do. And these districts have such a stranglehold on what students can learn. And 1 year of working at a school, we did standardized testings 6 times. No, 4 times. 4 times. We did it every quarter. For what? The data I was told by our assistant principal that we don't use the data that they gather. We don't that the district gathers. We don't use it. So what is the point? And then one Halloween in an English class I was working in, one of my favorite teachers I ever worked with, and I absolutely loved her. And her son was an amazing student, great kid I worked with. We wanted to. She wanted to have the Halloween reading be the Sleepy Hollow, and the district said no, it's too scary. She did it anyway. We couldn't even teach Sleepy Hollow. That is the first great piece of American literature ever written. And we're not allowed to teach it in an English class? And I remember one time I was working in elementary school. We were studying math. We were studying greater and equal than, greater than and less than. And I tried to tell the kids that I was working with in my group that the alligator. This is how I learned: the alligator mouth eats the larger number. And the teacher stopped me. Oh, you can't tell them that. That's too scary. We live in Florida. I could go across the fence and run into an alligator outside on the other side of the playground fence. It was ridiculous. The things that the hoops that these teachers have to jump through to deal with kids that are not punished for their when they have when they get in trouble. I had one kid call a teacher a fucking liar. And I looked at him and said, "Enough. Come with me up to the office." And you know what happened? 10 minutes after I came back to class, leaving him up the office, he comes back with a soda. Because, oh, the teacher's like, "Oh, you're just having a bad day. Here, have some candy and soda." That kind of teacher. And thank God that teacher, that principal's retired. She has no business being. If I had the guts, I should have looked at her the last day. I said, "You're the worst principal I've ever worked for." And I had some doozies. I had a kid threaten my life. What happened to him? 3-day vacation. What happened to me? I got fired. And I got fired because the principal told me, "I don't like how you're talking to the kids." I looked at him and said, "Are you freaking kidding me? You are letting them yell at us. You are letting them run out in the halls during class. You are letting them trash the hallways. You're letting them scream at us." I said that already. "And now you're letting them get away with threatening us?" Pretty much. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I cannot go back into education after any of that. After that, if my life as your employee is not worth a hill of beans, when I had a kid threaten to kill me, and I did the correct thing, the legal thing, as a designated reporter, I have to report threats of violence on me or any other person in the school system, including the student themselves. I had a student at my one middle school. She kept threatening to end things. She was joking, but about 5 times I had to take her up to the office because if I didn't report it and they did something, I would have been arrested and charged. And I'm not doing that. I'm not letting them do that. So that's why I haven't gone back to the school system. So I've been looking at doctors' offices, law offices. I even tried the clerk of court, which I'd never heard anything bad. Waiting on FedEx right now. So I'm looking. I check the job boards every day. I've put in the past month maybe close to 40 job applications in the past month alone. Working with a job counselor that it's helped. It's not working, and I'm not the only client of this job counselors who's facing the same problem. So if you feel moved to, I'm not saying that's a sob story. I'm just kind of giving you an update on my life. Go, it's moving to buy me coffee, Outpost Nerd. So it's coming up on hour 45 minutes. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing something I actually liked and something that's a passion project of mine. And like I said, like I always say, love y'all. Find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm the nerd of the Outpost. Love you guys. I'm gone.
Lost in space, I found my beliefs. In the shadows of silent tonight rain. Binary code run through my veins. With every beat and beep, I feel no pain. Signing off, it's time to go. Goodbye, my nerdy friends, see you later. I know through the stars we've shared this ride, but now it's time to say goodbye, farewell.